Hi, this is Straight Up Ask a Communication Coach. I'm Wendy Hornung, and I'm here to answer your questions. The first question we got this week was from Randy, who works at an IT support desk. He writes, "My boss is very emotional and I never know how to react. How do I handle this?" So, Randy, welcome to the world of working with other people. We all really are different. If your boss is having a meltdown at work and blaming you for things, yelling, screaming, or acting in a way that is very upsetting to you, that is not appropriate. And it's not appropriate in personal relationships either. However, if you're just not used to your boss because he's really passionate about the work and he gets really excited and that's just not your personality, you may have things from your past that is hard for you to deal with for your own reasons, or it could be that it's just very disruptive to the way that you work and how you operate in the way that you do your job. So if it's the latter, then it might be helpful to talk to your boss and let him know that you're very grateful that he wants to share challenges and problems that come up, because of course you want to be part of those solutions. But would it be possible to set aside a designated time where you know that you can prepare for the big emotions that he has? People who don't function the same way emotionally, that aren't as passionate, a lot of times don't understand the fluctuations and the waves of passion that people go through. And so that's just a way for you to be able to navigate it and make it a little bit more manageable for you. And the reason I'm saying that is it doesn't mean that you need to be more expressive. It just means that you have to find ways to be able to understand and work with somebody who's different than you. And also it goes the same way for your boss, to be able to find ways to help you be productive and supportive in the ways that he needs you to be. So Randy, just keep in mind that some work cultures are much more strict about how people behave. So even somebody who is emotional in certain environments or very passionate, it may not be encouraged. But it sounds like you're in an environment where, as long as your boss is not being inappropriate, that's just part of his process. So if that's how it is, just remember that cultures and working with other people that allow that fluidity and people to be themselves are the most successful. So if you can find ways to just help yourself be comfortable and be able to grow and contribute in that environment, you're good to go. I hope that was helpful. I hope that answered your question, and I really appreciate you writing in. The next question is from Sally. She writes, "I work at a nonprofit and our director stresses how everyone that works here needs to stay focused on serving others 100%. Yet she treats us poorly. She asks us to give more, do it better, and is constantly adding to our work. The staff feels totally burned out and frustrated. What should we do? Burnt out on good work, Sally." Sally, this is a cultural challenge that I see a lot in nonprofits and even sometimes businesses, but particularly in nonprofits, where most people that are working in nonprofits are such givers. They are involved because they really care about a cause. When there's a group of people that are putting their whole self into accomplishing something, and there are more and more demands, and it sounds like you don't really feel appreciated if somebody keeps demanding more and more from you, then it's probably time for the team to take matters into their own hands. I'm not talking about a rebellion, but there are some things that you could do that might help your boss see what would help the team feel more supported, which would actually help everybody be more impactful and energized. So here's what I would recommend. I would recommend doing a morale reset. I just made that up. So a morale reset is that since everybody's feeling drained and not feeling appreciated, that you need to take things into your own hands. Your boss obviously really cares about the output and the impact that you're making, but she's not noticing that you guys are feeling depleted. So what I would recommend is that as a group you plan to have a breakfast or a lunch that you guys organize, and you invite your boss. Don't ask your boss to do anything, just invite them. What I would recommend is everybody put team members' names in a hat, and each person pulls out a name and says something really positive about how this person contributes to the mission of the nonprofit. And somebody could write those down on a whiteboard or a big poster board where it goes up and everyone can see them. And it might sound a little corny, but how often do people that are working on behalf of others actually stop, acknowledge what they bring to helping others? And when you are a giver and you don't stop and do that, you actually are getting more and more depleted, because everybody needs to be replenished. And by inviting your boss, make sure you put your boss's name in the bowl also, so people can say positive things about her as well. A lot of times what happens when somebody is in a role where they are responsible for driving other people, they get very task-oriented and they lose sight of how much emotional energy is going into carrying out these different tasks. And it's not on purpose, it's just sometimes a mindset that people get into. So it's really important for the team, in order to keep the culture healthy and happy, work together to remind people that get lost in tasks that, hey, we need to regroup and build ourselves up, because we're doing really good work, and if we don't find ways to replenish ourselves, we won't really have very much to give to others. So it might sound a little corny, and you might come up with some other ideas as a team that will feel really good, but things that will remind you of how you all help is huge. People don't do it enough. So take the time to reward yourselves and acknowledge each other. I hope that helps, Sally. I hope that your team doesn't stay burnt out for long, and that you are re-energized by taking a little time for yourselves. Good. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to send me a question, you can write to me, wendy@wendyhornung.com. It's written here. You can also subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be adding more interesting things, and I love to get your questions, so keep in touch. Thank you.